Hey, what's up, people who have Peek in their clan tags and Islock Jet mains? This is going to be my first review of anything. You have no reason to listen to me because I don't have any idea how to review a product and determine whether or not it's actually worth buying. I also don't normally do videos like this, so talking directly to my camera is incredibly discomforting. So bear with me here. The only reason I felt inclined to make a video is because I've been using a Logitech G303 for the longest time. A lot of my older clips and even some of my newer ones, I've been using a G303. The only reason I have the original G303 is because Shroud, of course, copied literally every single one of his settings down to his map HUD and disgustingly big crosshair sizes. And I still use them today. And that was back in 2016. So quite a bit of time has passed. But because of Aim God Shrimp Man, I stuck with it because he knew better. And I was garbage, shitty 15-year-old player playing ESCA pugs at 1 in the morning instead of doing schoolwork. So even though the mouse was awkward at first and I thought it looked like shit, I used it anyway because Shroud. And that same man, the inconsistent wild card of a pug stomping legend, is the same man who formed me into the player that I am today. Mediocre. Also, the main inspiration and focus behind this new Logitech mouse, the G303 Wireless, he designed it himself. It's the same mouse as the G303. It's just wireless. Also, a tiny bit bigger. Well, here it is. The oops, sorry. The Logitech in all its glory. I'll try and open it with one hand here. It kind of looks like my my old G303. It's in that box. I don't know. That's kind of, well, I don't really. Yeah, I opened it already. I wasn't gonna put it back in the box and then open it a second time. Where the fuck did these blankets come from? But yes, I have been using the mouse. Everything that Shroud talked about, all the changes that he made.
I made it a little bit bigger. I did. I made it a little bit longer. I made it a little bit wider. The edges aren't as aggressive as they once were. We upped that butt up a little bit. Made it a little bit bigger. Best of all, it's wireless, baby. It's wireless.
It was delivered as promised. But there was one minor annoyance I had.
It's got this cute little pouch. I told them that we need a pouch.
You swine dog. It was all a ruse. There was never a pouch this whole time. You think you're better than us. That mixer deal, it changed you. You changed. You just changed. Okay, but in his defense, the Logitech store didn't have the buy button for the mouse the first day that it came out. And this still happened despite the fact the mouse was leaked on multiple different occasions months before it was actually announced. And it came out. Best Buy actually had a delivery button, which they didn't have before, so I just ordered it right away. I don't know how Logitech fucked up the buy button. That should be the most important part of the store, I would assume, but they did. And I'm assuming that's why I don't have my pouch. So that's just an L. So if you're gonna buy from Best Buy, it was like a 2-day delivery and it was free shipping. So I was like, fuck yeah. But you don't get the pouch. So is it even worth it? Be honest. Is free shipping worth the sacrifice of the Shroud pouch? No. But I am going to compare it to the G Pro Wireless because the G Pro Wireless is the same exact price. It has the same exact physical specifications for some reason. As you can see, the G303 Wireless does in fact have a 32-bit arm, which means he has a arm and also a hand and probably fingers, but they are too small for us to see because bits are incredibly tiny. G303 has a max DPI of 25,000. The G Pro Wireless actually has a max DPI of 25,600, which means if you are too inconsistent on 25,000 DPI and you need that extra 600, the G303 is not for you, unfortunately. This mouse cannot help you. You will not be saved. Your family will not survive the winter. Oh, here's an important one. For some reason, the G Pro Wireless has a durability section Under the durability section, it says PTFE feet, greater than 250 kilometers. From my understanding, this obviously means purely testing falling estimate in feet. G Pro Wireless can actually be dropped from heights greater than 250 kilometers, which is very impressive. Under the G303, it says no additive PTFE feet. What I am getting from this is, unlike the G Pro Wireless, if you drop the G303, it will shatter like glass, which that kind of sucks, seeing as the mouse is not on a wire for you to dangle it by. Also, I cannot help but notice that under package contents for the G303 Wireless, there's no sign of a Shroud pouch.
I'm on to you, you motherfucker.
Anyway, Shroud pouches aside, as we move over to gameplay with it, it should be noted that the first 2 bullets ever fired with this mouse were in fact misses. We'll put that down in our in-depth analysis. So I actually have a decent bit of clips on the mouse because I've been using it since around the 3rd day of its release. He's actually a bozo. They're not the greatest for most hype clips ever, but I mean, not every match you play is going to be the sickest highlight reel you've seen since Shroud's top 50 greatest CSGO moments by the legendary and esteemed YouTuber Halo Infinite Moments. Most of the footage is actually me just playing FFA Deathmatch and shooting bots since I needed something to talk over, but also I thought since it's a mouse appraised for aiding your ability to aim, I could show a good example of how truly good it makes me and how the Shroud G303 brings out the best version of myself. And no, I didn't just play CS, I also did a bit of Valorant. Okay, maybe it doesn't make you amazing right away, but that's okay. After a week of thunder and rain is usually when you notice the sun shines the brightest. I mean, just look at how good I am after giving myself some time to adjust in this definitely not sped up footage against expert level bots. It's always great seeing practice finally pay off. After warming up, I hopped into some deathmatch to really showcase this mouse's capabilities in a very competitive FPS.
Deathmatch. Warm up.
Alright, and that's enough Valorant. I think we get the idea now. Back on the CS side of things, I noticed a couple of things when playing deathmatch. One of which was that a guy named Nico couldn't kill me. I asked politely if it was really him, but he didn't immediately respond, so I killed him again. This had to be him, because why else would he have VIP next to his name? He clearly didn't respond due to the fact that he's too good to talk to me, which is understandable. I mean, he is pretty okay at the game, I guess. No! The only explanation there is for how he can't kill me has to be that Shroud, with his close connection to the former Cloud9 CSGO roster, implemented some sort of anti-Nico technology, or ANT for short, into the Logitech mice before his departure. This would also explain how his team of close friends came back from a 15-11 deficit in the last map of the grand finals of the 2018 E-League Boston Major against the best team in the world, including Nico himself. It only makes sense. Valve probably discovered the ANT and asked Cloud9 to stop fielding a CSGO roster. I mean, this is unfortunate, but ultimately for the best. After seeing how fucking awful their recent Smurfs partnered merch looks, it is truly a blessing to the CSGO community that they are no longer around to force anyone to actually wear this shit. The other thing I noticed is I couldn't for the life of me kill this dude named Salami. He killed me so many times that I am confident Shroud has something to do with it. It must be the work of what can only be described as Shroud's very own assisting Salami stimulant. Man, this joke is fucking bad. I am unsure of what Shroud's true intentions were. Maybe he just really likes salami. One thing's for sure though, Shroud put a lot of time and effort into his ass and it looks great. Why the fuck did I write that? I did also play some aim labs with it because honestly that's probably the most appropriate thing to play when testing a mouse that claims to make you aim better. Personally, I don't use aim labs very often. I don't think it helps beyond a certain threshold. Once you get good enough aim, the games you play will always be less about your aim and more about how you play them. You could always aim better, of course, because not everyone is going to hit 100% of their shots, and I guess that's where aim labs shines. But it's the same reason you don't hit the same shots in real matches as you do in deathmatch. You don't move the same, you don't react the same, the situations are much more diverse and not ones you can really replicate in aim labs. If there ever becomes a situation where the enemy team turns into giant green or red circles that die in one hit and make a loud dinging noise when you hit them, then you can call me out on not using aim labs enough. But until then, I'll stick to the traditional tried and true tactic of not playing a game for 4 days straight and then coming back with the expectations that I'll perform just as good as I did when I practiced daily. And as you can see, my score wasn't the greatest, but I also haven't touched aim labs in months. Oh yeah, I also wasn't using the right sensitivity, and I only noticed after finishing and thinking to myself, yeah, that felt kind of slow, because I was playing at about a quarter slower than my usual sensitivity. Yeah, I did get a better score after I changed it, but it wasn't by much. My high score was somewhere over 100k, and I've gotten there more than a couple of times. I'm pretty sure all the times I got over 100k I was using a G303 or a Razer Death Adder Elite. I'm confident I could do it again if I played enough aim labs, but I really don't feel like it's necessary. I've learned that if I want to get better at games, I need to focus on actually playing them. That's why I have friends who are far better than me at CS, and they can only get like 70k max on aim labs. So I've been talking for nearly 11 minutes straight, and somehow managed to say absolutely nothing at the same time. On a more serious note, genuinely, the only things I really care about on a mouse are how good the sensor is and how light the buttons are. I am not some mouse reviewing fanatic who analyzes every bit of a mouse, but I have my fair share of about 7 different mice, all varying in sizes and weights. That may seem like quite a lot to many of you, but I assure you, if we're talking about Counter-Strike and Valorant players, having tried this many is somewhat normal. In my case, I was hoping that the Shroud G303 is the last mouse I'm ever going to buy. I recognize that it is a problem, and I do not need this many. If I had to guess why for Counter-Strike and Valorant players, the reason we own so many is mainly because of our fascination with performance, and finding our comfort is the only way we can truly reach our peaks. We won't know what we're comfortable on until we try a bunch of different shapes, sizes, and weights. This logic obviously ignores the idea that changing something you've been using for a while directly correlates with discomfort and inconsistency, and by changing your settings a lot, you're becoming more adjusted to changing settings, so you're more prone to do it. This especially doesn't help, since I know for a fact that players from these games are obsessed with not only the settings of what other pros are using, but also the settings that they use themselves when they look back at the times they played their best. I am guilty of this as well. As mentioned in the intro, I copied all of Shroud's settings since the beginning. Counter-Strike is a game with an incredibly high skill ceiling. There's not much luck involved, and the only way to be really good at the game is by really honing your skills. I think the problem a lot of people have is that while they practice, they're far too focused on things that shouldn't affect their performance. I've played with plenty of people who will have one off game and then immediately change back to the mouse, sensitivity, or resolution, sometimes all three, that they were using when they thought they were good, instead of just diving into the game and picking out their mistakes and fixing them. A lot of those same people that I played with don't worry about that now, but I know for sure that other people still act like this. It's fine to change your settings and peripherals if you feel uncomfortable on whatever you're currently using. You can tell from my most recent videos that I clearly changed them a lot too. It's just that the problem occurs when there are guys who only decide that they are uncomfortable once they are performing poorly or not up to their standard. The difference is that I just pick one and I'm like, yeah, this feels good for today, and then maybe I don't like it tomorrow. I don't think that it's going to be a defining factor in my performance, and if I do feel like it'll affect me, I'll practice my mechanics to get adjusted. I find it hilarious that there are people who are having full-on discussions between 1440 by 1080 and 1280 by 960, and then going into a mental crisis about which one they should pick. There are a million different factors I shouldn't have to go into that contribute to performance issues. I don't think day 3 of playing on 1280 by 960 stretch is the reason you dropped 3 kills that one game when you were dropping 30s on day 2. Like, dude, I understand that changing these things impacts performance, but it's so weird that you're as fixated on something like this as you are, to the point that you're getting in your own head about it, being genuinely worried you're going to play worse because you have a bit more pixels on your screen. Like, get a grip, man. Flip a coin or some shit. The game isn't shutting down its servers after a bad game. Tomorrow's another day. Focus on practicing instead of taking shortcuts to gain a slight edge over someone who can close the gap by actually improving. What was the point of this video again? Oh yeah, Shroud G303 or some shit. Is it worth buying? Let's look at our notes. What the fuck is this? What is this shit? What dumbass made this? Fuck me. Fuck you, dumbass, you piece of shit. Get this shit off my fucking screen. If I ever find out who fucking made this,
I'm kicking their ass.
yeah, if you're a hardcore gamer, this mouse is worth buying. I'd say so. Buttons are satisfying to use, and although the grip is bigger than the original G303, I don't find myself questioning how the fuck am I supposed to hold this mouse. That may not be the same case for you, because I used the other G303, and a lot of people didn't get the chance to because it was discontinued. But it's still a weird fucking shape, man. I don't think a lot of people are gonna like it. If you're the kind of person who collects mice and have a billion different ones, you probably don't buy this one. You're not gonna use it. It's not gonna be a comfortable shape for your hand. It's not like the other mice. It's just gonna sit on your shelf and it's gonna be a spare like the other 7 you have. But if you need a mouse, or if you really want a mouse and you are looking to change, it's a good one. If I were to say get any other mouse, probably a G Pro. The G Pro is a lot more fitting for a lot of other people's hands. It'll be a lot more comfortable. It's not going to be as confusing or awkward to hold. The sensor is the same. It's the same exact sensor as the G303. So I don't see a reason not to get that mouse if you are like worried that you're not going to use this mouse because you're not going to like the way it feels. I mean, honestly, if the way I see it, just use it. Just stick to it. You have no reason not to. I don't see a point in having a million different mice anymore because I don't need them. I don't need the switch. I don't think it's going to make me better if I continue switching mice, and that's just how it is. So, as a casual, competitive gamer, it's a great mouse. You should get one. But if there's one thing to keep in mind, it's that Shroud lied about the Shroud pouch. You are not getting one. You are never getting one. I didn't get one. You're not going to get one. He has one because he's a liar. May we never forget. Let's see what my friends think about the mouse. Hello, guys. I just wanted to ask a quick question. What do you guys think about the Logitech G303 Wireless Shroud Edition?
It sounds good, just quiet.
The what?
Yeah.
What do you think about the Logitech G303
It's a mice, not
Wireless Shroud Edition?
It's good. I like.
I don't know what that is.
Okay. Any
Oh.
other opinions?
Nope.
I don't know what that
Good.
is
I
either.
like.
Okay. Noted.
I'll plan. One more, close.
Why?
Close. Oh, you do this.
Wait, what?
Fucking
Careful, you don't grab.
The same man who formed me into the inconsistent garbage player that I am today. Fucking rude. That is so mean. There is a big psychological. Wait, I already fucking read this. I'm pretty sure I did that back in 2016. That's fuck. Why did this? What? Actually, anything. So I have no idea what I'm doing, and bear with me while I'm like just winging this because I can't fucking speak properly.